There we go. There we go. Good morning, everyone. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's 6:30 Club. This is where we go over what the market is kind of obsessing over. What's the narrative? Where are we at? How do we make cash flow for the day, maybe for the week? What kind of sequence are we in? What's important? We try and map things out so this way we can all make some money responsibly with a process and a plan, because that's what's kept me in this business since about 1997. That's how old I am. Anyway, hope you had a good weekend. It was beautiful in the Northeast. I was out in Long Branch, had one of my favorite dishes. If you're ever in Long Branch, New Jersey, you want to go to Rooney's. The Angry Lobster is fantastic. Let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world real quick. Who do we got? We got Jamie Lunda. Good morning, Jamie. She's so consistent. What up, Mobile Trader? We got Rolando in the house. We got Blair, Rise and Shine. We got Scotty Gids. We got Tony. I'm just a kid. Compared to you, maybe. I'm only kidding. What's up, Bobby? Tampa Bobby, how you doing, buddy? 4.0. We got Mr. Ortiz from Colombia in the house. We got Austin in the house. We got Todd D, the LA area. There you go. It's early for you, huh? Anyway, so if you look here, just so you know that I'm not talking to myself, these are everybody tuning in from, kind of around the world. Actually, you can't see it right there. You can see it now. That's everyone saying hello. MLD, Angry Lobster. That's a good one. You got Caracas in the house. So basically, I think if you are on YouTube, you could, you could interact a little bit more. Twitter, I think, just streams. But anyway, so let's go back down here. Let's get to it. So anyway, it's been an interesting tape, I'll tell you. From the corrective phase that started in July 16th, what it take from July 16th to August, 5th, you had probably a 2.5 week, methodical downward tape. And then from the August 5th low and the blood in the street buy, we've had a pretty fast move up. When the moves just start, you try and map out areas to figure out where some sellers could come. And every spot that we went to, basically, the bulls just kind of powered through. First spot was right here at the 8th day, got rejected, red dog reversal sell, trapped. That was a bull trap, trapped everybody who thought we were going to continue lower. Then when we took out this pivot, it was here we are above the 8th day. What up, Hussein? And then from here all the way up to 56.43. So kind of thank goodness last Thursday happened. Why thank goodness? Because I know for me, I was a little overhedged. I was a little extra short. So this day, which wasn't a whole hell of a lot, basically got me to cover some of my shorts that I was, I would say I was probably, from here in, I was trapped in a little bit of a pain trade, which wasn't fun. And now I'm a little bit more balanced. So, at this point, it's going to be like, you can't get too bearish if, we hold above 55.60. This is your upper area now. If we break 55.60, hey, all the double top camp talkers are going to come out. But if we get above and stay above 56.43, here's 56.69, and chances are it continues to the upside. If you go to with the SPYs, you can see it pretty clear. 563.18. That is your area. I know if I was super duper short and we took that out and held it, I'd have to cover. And then you have 565, and then you have highs. This is the alpha team, by the way. This is everybody that I spend the whole morning with. Blah 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 blah. They get to see some positions. I don't have a hell of a lot on. I'm long SPYs, but I'm also in some puts for a week or so out. I'm long some IBIT still. You have Apple's moving well. The XBI and the IWM has been doing pretty well. Some call. So, I'm just trying to manage the situation. At this point, I would like to make some money every day this week. That would be nice. Keep the stress level down, go into Labor Day weekend. So I think what's important for today, again, would be right here. You had this day that looked like it was going to bring in a retracement, and then it was engulfed on on Friday with Jackson Hole and Jerome basically saying they're going to start cutting rates, just a matter of how much. So we shall see. The jobs reports Friday, right? So you have to be careful of that. And then what I think is really important is Nvidia. Nvidia is going to be coming out on Wednesday. If you remember on Thursday, it gave you this wide range bar that took out these two inside candles. It looked like maybe Nvidia would correct, and all it did is hit the 8th day, which was, I guess, buyable. I didn't take home Nvidia on this thinking, hey, maybe this downside follow through. but then boom, they chopped them pretty fast. So now if you go look at Nvidia, remember, I feel like it was a week ago, I'm like, could Nvidia, or not even a week ago, last week, I'm like, could Nvidia get above and stay above 130.60, and continue? That would give us some clues whether early strength holds. And here we are right back to that 130. So if it were to get above, this is what, 130.75, this is 129.60, this is 130. So really, it's an area, if they can't, reject price into this little zone here, chances are some other semis will rally, and some chances are the morning strength will stick. So if you come in long, you could trim some. So if you look here, so everyone's like, how do they follow you along on the VTF? Well, I came in long the spies and I've trimmed a little bit. Okay, doesn't mean, at some point in the first half hour of the day, if all of a sudden it's holding and everything is strong, maybe I'll add back to it. But I always trim a little bit, when an overnight is kind of in my favor, just to book some and continue. So I would, again, use this as your key. Does it hold? And maybe it doesn't, but because Wednesday is the earnings, so maybe they don't want to do it so quick, but we'll see. Funny thing is, I hate this stock, but a lot of people like, Red Dog, you got to look at, SMCI again. If it can get above 640, you're going to have a gap fill to 660. Okay. So if that's what you want to do, great. Sometimes it takes too much brain power. This stock has been really, really hard. 12.29 down. They give you a little trade here. Now looks like there's a small setup. So if you think that's the case, okay, great. On Friday, the small caps woke up again. Basically anytime the computer's here, lowering rates, cutting rates, they love to buy the IWM. So if you were in that trade, congratulations. Or had options for Jackson. I kind of screwed up that trade. I bought options, which I still made money on the XBI, because the XBI was acting better than the IWM. But then I guess the IWM played catch up. And now at some point, I guess it'll work towards here. If you remember on that Fed day, remember this loose wide candle, and then it broke the 8-day from 220 down to 196. Well, right back out there. Shows you got to buy dips. But anyway, I kind of think this XBI is pretty calculated. I like this pattern here. 103 to 103 again. Now you have 102 right here. It's above the 8-day. You could even take a little broader look at it. You could see just the type of accumulation happening in these bios. Bios overall are tough because it's very data driven. It's either like a home run or it's like a strikeout. So anyway, with that being said, came right back to this area. If you look at the weekly chart of the XBI, look at that. This is the weekly chart. If it were to get above this 103-ish area, doesn't mean this week, but, could get on in motion, gets above it, then you have 111 and 120, which would only bring you back to where it broke down from in 2021. We're only back to where it was. And then that's still the high. So it seems as if, gets above this 103, could have a move. I'm in options. I'm in the ETF, and, we'll see how that goes. I think so for a sec. Can Meta be going higher and make new highs? That's what Manny asked. I'm in some Meta options, and there was some news out there, which wasn't a big deal on Friday. I guess that's why the computers were programmed or whatever it was, that they're discontinuing their next generation VR or not doing it. I don't think what gets enough talk, to be honest, and I see a lot of it, are the Meta glasses. Meta has a deal, I think, with Ray-Ban, and I've seen a lot of them. I was in Montauk. I saw a lot of them. I was just in Long Branch. I saw a lot of them. I'm going to get a pair, for my birthday. my brother, my wife's like, "Oh, could we get someone that has everything?" I'm like, "Give me the Meta glasses." So maybe it's just the kids, they'll do their $3,000 VR, but for I remember Google glasses came out multiple years ago, but they look too scientific. Now these glasses are kind of fashionable, and they're pretty cool. Where you can take pictures, you can talk to them, you can listen to music. But anyway, so you're asking me, could Meta, finally break out? I'd like to see it go up a few dollars today and hold it, and kind of like repair those two candles, because it was showing so much relative strength and just didn't want to break out yet. So we'll see if we could hang in here, and then the next time it wants to get above 540 or 542, I would think it can go. So I think it's we'll see if it sticks today. Meta's only up 89 cents. It's been very sloppy. Meta's been sloppy all year. As good as it's been really, really sloppy. So we'll see what happens there. Apple hasn't been as sloppy, but it's been kind of hard to sink your teeth up here. If you remember on August 5th, I was putting in bids right into this area, right into the 200 to 190 something, and made really good money. I got away from the trade right into here where I thought there'd be resistance, and it continued. And now I would say here, kind of like the whole concept can't get too bearish if Apple holds this 223, 224 and goes sideways and digests this move, chances are next time it tries to get above 228, it's going to work back towards the all-time highs. So, I'd keep an eye on Apple. I'm long some Apple. I'm going to trade around it. So we'll see. New Jersey, what are you asking, Chris? Everyone's a little chill this morning. Okay, I like it. Gold, yeah, gold has had a big move. Looks like it's going to take out this 234 and continue. If you have an asset allocation program, continue to just buy gold. You're doing great. If you trade it for, actively to get a paycheck for August or September, if you bought it on August 8th, that is when it turned into a better trade. That's when the sequence started to get stronger again. As far as Bitcoin, it hit 65,000, which was one of my targets over the weekend. But if you're long the IBIT, you can't really sell it there. But I do think, Bitcoin is acting well. You have another bull flag here. I'm going to try and stay long the IBIT. At some point, it takes out to 65, and then you have a whole, little quadrant here, before it even gets back to resistance, which is 70,000. And if Bitcoin wants to play, if the market hangs in here, which it feels like it is, if Bitcoin wants to make, wants to play some catch up, you're above the moving averages. It took out 62. It's resting here. It can go. And if that's the case, maybe, you can get a better move. This is pretty broken. Maybe the CLSK can get towards 15. I know some guys went with Mr. Mr. did a better job breaking above this inside range. There's some room here. You could trade Mr. or you could trade IBIT. I do think IBIT might be a little safer, but it's fine. But if you're in here, there's some room back towards the upper end of the range. If you're trading like Mara or Coin, okay. But these things have been not really correlating fantastically. I remember last time this gave you a red dog reversal sell before, and when Bitcoin was at 70, so it gave you some clues. And then when Bitcoin rolled over, that happened. But anyway, I guess Coin is good too. So I'm going with IBIT, and I bought some options for CLSK just for it to get back to 15. I remember playing it right here, and it failed. So again, these things just don't correlate as well. Bitcoin is better. Tesla, someone asked me what about Tesla. Tesla's really hard. Tesla is very, very erratic. It hasn't been special for a while. Every time, you start to trust it, it gives you like one of these days that just pisses the hell out of the longs. I remember on this day, you had to have this before that. And then it looked like you were going to have a bull flag, and then it broke down and then trapped the sellers. And all in all, it's pretty erratic. I guess you could say, there's a little bit of like a wedge forming here, and then there might be, another move this week if it wants to. But overall, this has been a little trickier to trade. Hasn't been, it's not the Tesla of old. It's not the hyper focus, but we'll see. Yeah, there's some decent liquidity in IBIT. Amazon was probably one of the names I felt comfortable while I was in LA holding, and I got stopped out of it, but I made good money there. Just feels like nobody's really in a rush. There's so many, pissed off traders from when Jeff snuffed this move up here. I know he made really good money here, but he kind of snuffed that out when the market was still strong. And then when the market turned, he just fell out of bed. I was buying it right here for this gap fill. There was a gap from earnings right here. If you remember, that's been filled. So that trade is over. Hit a little high here now. I guess if you were to be long now, this is the next trade. I would say you have to put a stop in a 174. So here's your gap. This is the next. Now let's see if which I might do. If you feel like you want to be in Amazon and Amazon could work higher, well, then it should not break this 174. It should hold here and maybe continue, but this is a pretty bearish candle, and it didn't do as good a job, repairing it. So it's just like, Microsoft also hasn't been great. Microsoft, gave you, remember when I was here before leaving, I'm like, hey guys, if Microsoft gets above 410, we have a pocket pivot. You could probably see a move up towards the moving averages. Well, it got to 426, reversed, and now it's kind of, it didn't even retrace more than 50% of this down move. So it's showing you that Microsoft isn't as powerful as it was, that it needs time. But you have the IWM doing better, the XBI doing better. I think Lily's still awesome. I would say at some point this Lily into the fall will get above and stay above this 972. Let the 8-day catch up and it gets above there. We're going to be talking about Lilly as $1,000 plus stock at some point this fall. And I would think, it has a split in its, under its sleeve. Yeah, Starbucks has a gap pivot right here. This looks pretty good. You could be long Starbucks versus 90 and add to it if it takes out 96. That would be the parameters of the trade, right? I personally thought, it didn't need to be up that much on a CEO, but whatever. So again, buy versus 90, add over 96. You could have two tiers and just be patient. So sometimes you want to buy versus a level, and then you want to add when it gets in motion, and that's how you make extra cash flow. Chewy, Christopher asked me. I haven't looked at that one in a while. I could take a look. Yeah, you got a tight little chart here. It's above the 8-day. Small caps are acting better. Everyone loves their dogs. I love my dog. Today's National Dogs Day, by the way. Yeah, this is kind of the same thing. This low here is what? This is 25.92. You could say, hey, I want to be long versus a level. So you're engaged and watching it and kind of involved. And then you want to add to it when it's on the move, because right now it's not on the move like it was here. Then add to it when it gets above 27.75. That's kind of how I frame things when, someone asks me about it and I take a look at the chart and I just do my quick and dirty. PayPal, I've been hearing a lot more about PayPal. I guess, I'll take a look for you. PayPal. Yeah, you got a high level consolidation, right? I haven't played this one, obviously. Whenever you see old stuff on here, that just means I don't look at it anymore and I don't clean it up or whatever. But I would say the same thing for PayPal. It got a little extended, had a big move. So the question is, does it want to go again? So here's, the breakout. Here is, a little bit of a gap that showed some power, and it just needs a little bit of time. So at this point, again, you could be long verse. Isn't that the theme? Long verse, add if. Long verse, add if. Long verse, add if, right? Long verse, 70, just say 71, or just say even 70, give yourself some room. So you could be sitting in PayPal, sit in it, verse 70. If it starts breaking this, it can come down here, it can come to here, you never know. And you can't, get to 75, right? This is going to be very, this is earth-shattering, think tank stuff. You can't get to 75 if you don't get over 73.25. That's why some of these points of references are important. I try and simplify everything because I'm just not that smart. So buy verse 70, add above 73. Next point of reference is 75 over there. Anyway, and Kathy sold her ZM. Okay. Would you short the SPY? I would say don't have short in the brain. With the spiders, I did a really good job, being out of the way with the entire alpha team, with Redler All Access and the 630 Club. I got tactical here. I got pretty short there. We were buying the cajones out of things in here. Blood in the street account went to work there. I still was thinking long, and right around 540 to 545 is when I was like, it's a little far, a little fast, and all of a sudden I lost a bunch of money here, which didn't feel good. So at this point, I am long the SPYs, and I trimmed a little bit. If again, the same thing, if we get above and stay above 563, everybody who's been rolling up shorts will probably cover. Most people are on vacation, so if all of a sudden we're in cruise control and you have the buybacks and you have the shorts and no real bad news, like over the weekend, Israel and Iran exchanged some bombs, but now they're talking about it being done. That's why the futures were down 10 handles last night. Now they're up 10 because they think it could be over and we could have a ceasefire with Hamas, send the hostages home. So anyway, some would short if you get a push above to 564, you come back below another red candle. Hey, maybe be short a little bit or have some puts on. But, I would rather say can't get too bearish if, that holds 555. And that's a long period from 563 to 5, it's 8 points. So it all depends, your time frame and how much you want to trade. All right, at this point, you do have the jobs report Friday. The next thing is really Nvidia. Nvidia is Wednesday. Question is, for today, does it get above and stay above 130 to 137.85? If it does and continues, that'll probably give the semis another push. That'll give tech a bid, and chances are we hold 563. If it opens up and goes from up to down $1 or so, chances are the market's just going to be choppy and hang around. Anyway, I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Be well, my dogs. I will be here Monday through Thursday. We do the 6:30 Club Monday through Thursday. And I'm not going to be away. Tomorrow I'm going to be in the city, but I'll be here in the morning. I'm going to be on Fox Business. Again, I go once every 2 weeks. So they're sending a car to come in for me to speak my mind, wear a nice little handsome suit instead of sitting here in a t-shirt in my Russian bath house, which you see behind me. And we'll go about the week. You know, every day we'll try and figure out how to make some cash flow, how to stick with some things and be responsible. To me, the stock market is not a casino. It's a place to develop wealth and accumulate wealth over time, because buying dips over 30 years will help your retirement. Start at 529 if you're 30 years old and not 51 like me, and you have a 3-year-old kid or something. Do 200, 300, 400 a month, you know, because chances are college will be super duper expensive, which it already is by the time your kid goes, unless there's some kind of, you know, hack, which maybe we've, you know, I'm not even going to get into all that. And then if you have a blood in the street account like I do with my wife, she's carved out 5% and 6%, 11%. So it's back in a fixed rider for a rainy day, only because I can't do contributions there. And then with T3, you know, that's what I get paid quarterly. I have a swing account when things are trending. I have an active account when I want to make cash flow. I have options when I want to play the binary events because I don't want to have too much risk when I have an unknown out there. And then a box that makes me make more when I'm winning or lose more when I'm losing. Chances are over time I usually make more, so it helps. And that's that. Good luck to you guys.